Hey YouTube, it's old Watachi again. This video is part two of my last video, I guess you would say. At the end of my last video, I asked everybody to tell me the difference between a republic and a democracy. And what did you come up with? Did anybody come up with anything? I only got one comment on the whole video, and it had nothing to do with it. But anyway, for those of you that didn't even take the time to even look at it, see what I was trying to get at or anything, the point I was trying to make is there are some things that are the same between a republic and a democracy. And most of those things really aren't important because it's all an illusion in the first place. But I will go over one or two of them anyway. But in both republic and a democracy, you are given the illusion that you are electing local people in your area to go to Washington, D.C. in order to represent you. Now, in reality, they put some people in front of you and allow you to vote from their list of people that they make the list. They put the people on it. You decide out of the people they put on the list who you want to represent you. Now, the minute that clown leaves your state and moves to Washington, D.C., where he's got to do all of his work, he's no longer representing you. He's representing whoever's greasing his palm the hardest. And I mean with money, folks. But that's one of the main illusions that you get from both a republic and a democracy. Now, with a democracy, let's go this way. We'll start with the democracy. With a democracy, the one thing that our forefathers wanted to set up was that even the minority would have a vote in this country. Whether it be, immigrants, legal immigrants, the poor people. It wouldn't just be the rich people deciding on who was going to be elected or the representative. So, everybody's vote was supposed to count. Well, with a democracy, everybody passed the first 51%. At 50%, it's a tie. At 51%, that whoever gets that is going to get their way. So that means that if this country is 60% white, that those 60% white, if they decided one day they wanted all the any race, Asian people killed off. They don't want any more Asian people in this country. And we don't have the money to move them, so we just kill them and bury them. If the majority said that, and the majority up there in Congress rules it in, then it becomes, they turn it into a law. It makes it legal for you to go out here and kill Asian people. Just because the majority got their way. Now, in a republic, you are given, they don't make up the rules. The rules have already been made up. The government, you elect them to represent you. If they don't represent you, you haul their butts out of that position, put somebody in there that's going to represent you in the right way. Now, since we don't need the government to make the rules, we have rules for the government to follow. Those are the amendments. First Amendment, Second Amendment, all those amendments. okay? Those rules were put in place before the government was put in place. Those rules, the rules of the Constitution, are what controls the government, tells them what they can and cannot do. And they cannot be changed by the government. It takes a full 100% across the board agreement from everybody. We the people, everybody has to agree. If one person doesn't agree to it, they cannot make it a rule or a law. That's the way it is, people. That's a republic. They already have, like the Second Amendment, you have the right to bear arms, and it cannot be infringed, which means you will always have that right, because you will never get everybody in the country to agree to take that right away. You'll never get it. And majority does not rule. Sorry, majority doesn't rule. In a democracy, majority rules. But in a republic, majority does not rule. The law is the law of the land. So, when we, the people, are not controlling our government, you get what we have today. It's not the government's fault. It's our fault. It's our fault because we are a republic. The people are supposed to take an interest in what's going on. They're supposed to take an interest in their politics. But what they've done is they've taken your interest away from that stuff and put it in the Kardashians, the football players, the basketball players, the wives of race car drivers. These stupid shows that are on TV is just beyond me. But I don't want to get off subject here. But the republic, the rules were already in place. A democracy, they think they can vote in or vote out any rules they want. And of course, what are they going to vote out? Any rules that control them. Any rules that controls them in any way, shape, or form. If they're allowed free will in Washington, D.C., they will vote out all laws that stop them from doing whatever they want. Period, people. And that's what we've allowed them to do. We've sat back on our tufts, our asses, and have not done a damn thing to put a stop to this shit, to hold these people accountable, to get them out of office if they're just being paid off. If they're committing treason, they need to be hung or sent to Guantanamo Bay with the rest of the terrorists. But that's not happening, people. We're not doing that. As a matter of fact, we're letting them pass laws. Right now, there's one trying to get passed that will name anybody who talks about or believes in these conspiracy theories, so-called conspiracy theories, that they like to claim doesn't exist when they really do. But if you are considered one of these people, that you're going to be put on a terrorist watch list. If they're trying to pass a law right now that to make Antifa, put Antifa it on a terrorist list. So what we're allowing them to do is change the rules. Once again, they're changing the rules. They're not supposed to be able to make terrorist lists out of American citizens. But seeing how they've let damn near anybody in the world that wanted to come here just walk right over the border, well, we do have terrorists here now. Whose fault is it? The government's. Because they're not doing what they were supposed to do, and we the people aren't doing what we're supposed to do. So if you don't teach your kids about the government, how do you expect them to know what's going on when shit happens? Because we're never going to understand what the hell they're doing up there. Hell, in D.C., if they pass a law, it might have 20 or 30 or 40 laws wrapped up into one law. But they got it passed under national health care, We got it passed under. We're wanting national health care for everybody. Yeah, but we're hiding 12 other laws back over here on the right. Has nothing to do with health care. But if this gets passed under free health care for everybody, these laws get passed right along with it that we never know about. So that's what I'm talking about, people. You got to know what the Constitution is. And in my eyes, and this is my opinion only, influenced by God, when them guys all sat down and wrote that Constitution, I believe God was sitting there with them and influenced every bit of it, just as much as the Lord influences the Bible when it was written. That's just how I feel about it. And a lot of people think I'm anti-government. I'm not anti-government. I'm we've already made the government. The government was built and put together back in the late 1700s, early 1800s. They already built the government. There was nothing wrong with the government except the government didn't have control. That's what the government changed. And now we got to take control back. We, the people, have to take control back, or we will never get it back. If we don't take it back, they're not just going to go, oh, our bad, and hand us back our country and our government. They're not going to do it. They're done in there like ticks. So they're not going nowhere unless we do something about it. We start holding them accountable and stopping them from doing what they're doing, because people, you look around, we've got a big old zit right in the middle of this country, and it's about to pop, and it's called the American dollar. And when that thing pops, what do you think you're going to buy food with? What do you think you're going to buy water with? What do you think you're going to buy anything with? And if you have some money in the bank, what do you think it's going to be worth when the dollar ain't worth nothing? So, people, that's my rant for today. We'll have to see where it goes from here. Get a Constitution. Read the Constitution. If you can't understand what it says, ask somebody what it says. Know your rights. Know your rights. Because without them, you're nothing but a sheep being guided to slaughter. Know your rights, people. May God bless us all, because we're going to need it. Have a good day out there.